This worksheet is partially formatted. You can see we have our header formatted, we have our column headers formatted, and we have our total in addition to the numbers. But there's some additional formatting that we need to do. We want to talk about column widths and row height, maybe text alignment. Let's start at the top. Now, row 1, our report header, should be maybe a little taller. When your mouse becomes two-headed arrow here, it has to be on the border between the row 1 and row 2 header, and click and drag down to make the header a little taller. Click the header so it's selected, and it looks great, but it's down on the bottom. We want this to be vertically centered. So make sure you're on the Home tab, and in the Alignment section, these 3 buttons deal with vertical alignment. Click the middle one, and now it's aligned to the middle. Now we have some room. We could make it a little bigger. Choose a bigger font if you want. Maybe choose a different font altogether if you like. And keep in mind the fonts on this computer may be different from the fonts that are on your computer. Okay, now that looks a lot more like a report header. Let's deal with the column headers for the months and the total. Drag across these cells, and again on the Home tab in the Alignment section, you click this button over here and that will align them to the center. Well, this column F is a little too narrow, so if you put your mouse pointer here on the border between the column F and the column G header, when your mouse pointer becomes that two-headed arrow, you could drag to make it wider, but you might have to guess how wide that's supposed to be. I'll just press Ctrl Z to undo. When you get that two-headed arrow mouse pointer, double-click the mouse, and now that will automatically adjust that column so it's as wide as the widest item in that column, which happens to be the percent of total header. Now, the columns here, B, C, D, and E, are all a little different. Maybe you want to make them the same. Put your mouse pointer here on the header for column B, and just drag across to column E. We want to leave column E alone. When you put your mouse pointer here on the border between any 2 column headers, you could drag one way or the other. Now these columns are all the same width, but we want to make sure that we don't have any data cut off. When you scroll down here, you can see this date is cut off. That's what those pound signs mean. It's not an error, it just means there's not enough room to display that data. Well, we can select a few cells here, and then in the Alignment section, click Merge and Center, and then click that left align button so we don't have to worry about that too much. And let's just scroll up. Let me just show you another way that you can choose column width. Let's select these column headers, drag across. One way is right-click, and you can choose column width and type in a number. Cancel out, or again on the Home tab, go over here to the Cells section, click Format, and here we can choose row height, or we can choose column width, and it's the same dialog box. So whichever way you want to get it is fine. Well, let's take a look at the names of the cities here, and I'll scroll down a little bit. Let's say that we didn't just go to San Francisco, we went to San Francisco and Silicon Valley, and we went to Los Angeles and Orange County, and we want to specify that in those cells. We want to add the text here. Put your mouse pointer here after San Francisco and double-click to insert the cursor. Now, what happens if we simply type? We say San Francisco and Silicon Valley and press Enter. Well, it's cut off because there's no room for that. So again, I'll just press Ctrl Z to undo. Again, click over here after San Francisco, and we want to press Alt Enter. That is, hold down the Alt key and press Enter. That's how you can force a line break in a cell. And now we can type and Silicon Valley. Press Enter. And that also applies a text wrap. So this column A is still a little too narrow, so let's make that column just a little bit wider so it fits. Great, it fits horizontally, but we have a little bit of extra space on the top. So put your mouse pointer here on the border between the row 6 and row 7 header. When your mouse pointer becomes a two-headed arrow, double-click, and now Excel automatically adjusts that row height. Let's try this again for LA. Double-click after Los Angeles, space, and I'll press Alt-Enter, and we'll type Orange County, press Enter, and there we go. So now we've forced a text wrap in that cell. Now I just want to show you one other place where you can put in text wrapping and you have a few other alignment options. But let's select both of these cells. If you go up here, back in the Home tab in the Alignment section, click this little button here, and this brings you into the Alignment tab of the Format Cells dialog box. And now you can see Wrap Text is turned on, and we can see what the horizontal and vertical alignment is, and we can see that the cells are not merged, and over here we can see that the text is going straight across and not at an angle. So you might like to use the dialog box instead of the ribbon. It really depends on which way you like it. I'll just cancel out. Now we have a worksheet that has a much better look to it.